Hi, I'm Scott.
And I'm Michelle, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, show number 149 for June 24th, 2024.
For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you. But may I just say,
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. It's Monday.
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 Hello.
Hello.
How's everyone doing? I'm hopefully good. We're tired today.
The best part about asking them how they're doing is nobody can say, "Oh, I'm horrible," because we can't.
We're
really.
going to assume you're all
So
fantastic.
you're all just wonderful.
Especially now that you're listening to us. So we're just going to go with that.
That just made your Monday fantastic, or Tuesday, or whatever day of the week.
Or whatever day of the week it is. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
We're a little bit on the tired side today.
We are.
So our adventures in Florida living this weekend, or this past weekend, is the reason we're tired. But I just wanted to touch on, before we get into that, last Tuesday we did try to go to the Magic Kingdom to ride Tiana's because we got another reservation, a virtual queue to ride Tiana's, and we didn't get to ride it.
Sadness.
It was sadness. The ride was down pretty much the whole time we were there. And then I think after we left and about the time we got home, all of a sudden we got the thing like, "Hey, your time is returned. You have an hour to come ride the ride." And it's like, no.
And it was like dinner time. But we got there in the morning. So obviously Tiana's Bayou Adventure is still having technical difficulties.
A little bit. But
a wee bit.
Doesn't it open to the public this week or to reservation system this week?
Yeah, it opens on the 28th. That's still what they're saying unless they change it. But yeah, that's the deal right now.
Well, we will see what happens. I'm sure we will have lots of information coming out about that. So that's Friday, correct?
You're asking the wrong girl because I don't even know what day it is half the time.
So today's the 24th, so 26th. Yep, and Friday would be the 28th.
And also, just before we start, too, we have a Flavors of Florida event on Wednesday, which is at Disney Springs. And Scott and I are going to be checking out what they're doing. Now, last year they did this every Friday. The event is on the 26th in the afternoon, and it's a preview of what's going to come. It's not an actual show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, he didn't even know what we were going to.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's a preview of what's to come for the season.
Oh, okay.
So we will have all the stuff to report on that. And last year the series was fun because you got to sit. It was really hot, but you got to sit and listen to a chef or a different company that has something to do with the springs talk and then teach you how to make a certain dish.
Correct. And we got to sample some really great food last year with the different things.
Well, you did more than me.
Yeah, I did more than you. The one you did like, though, was when Wine Bar George did the burrata, which you
Well, see, you know what? If you throw a little Italian food at me, I'm good.
And then we like the cookies from Gideon's.
Well, yeah, always.
Those were really good. And there were some other things that were pretty good. But some of the great chefs come out there, and you get to see how they make a lot of their featured dishes for the Flavors of Florida event. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Last year was sponsored by Corksicle. Are they sponsoring it again this year?
I'm thinking it is Corksicle again.
Okay. Well, we'll have more news on that on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
But back to why we're tired today.
Back to it. So if you follow my public page at Michelle Atwood, then you know that we have been out of town. I don't think I've posted anything on the Main Street Mouse. And you know what? Sidebar, I should have because we don't cover just Disney. We're trying to branch out a little bit.
Exactly.
And that would have been cool. So maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll do that at some point.
Share some of the information that we did.
Okay, so where were we?
That's like off TMSM then.
Way off.
And we were way off out of Florida. We were actually in the mountains of Tennessee.
We sure were.
I went a little bit southern there for a second.
You did, but don't be all offensive.
I won't be. I'm not going to go there. It was by accident. It's just hard to say the Smoky Mountains without saying Tennessee.
But yeah, so that's where we were. from Thursday, and we got home yesterday. So just a quick, long weekend trip.
Yep, that's right. Michelle's parents and her brother and his family, and we went up there to spend just
Down
a few
there.
days. Down. No, for up for us.
Oh, yeah, it is up. It was down for them.
It's down for them. It's up.
Sorry,
for us.
I forget that I don't live in Michigan anymore
Yeah, so
sometimes.
it was kind of in the middle of both of us. It was about 8 hours for them, about 9.5 hours for us.
Yeah, which is why my mom chose it. She was trying to find something halfway so that we wouldn't have to drive as far, and neither would they.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it worked out pretty well. They rented this big cabin,
Mhm.
which was a really nice cabin. It was right on a creek.
Kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. Actually, we had a hard time finding it at first.
Yeah, because like the roads where these cabins are very tricky, and they don't even look like roads. They just kind of look like rock roads of nothing, and then you turn, and as you keep driving, you're like, oh look, there's a house, there's a cabin.
Yeah, it was weird because the main street we turned off of to go back into where the houses were. That one's pretty easy to find. My GPS turn here, just turn there, and then we got lost.
Then GPS was kind of like, screw you guys, you're on your own.
Yeah, GPS was like there was
I'm out.
always,
Bye.
and there was quite a few houses back there, probably 15 to 20 houses, but it was like probably 20 different roads to figure out which one you have to go to. So that was a little trick. Like one road would go down, one road would go up, and one goes to the opposite way, and it's like, okay,
We're city folk. We don't know any of that kind of back road stuff at all.
So we took every road except for the one we needed, actually.
But we got there eventually, and my family was already there. The cabin had a huge porch in the background. It had like a hot tub at one end and a swing at the other, and then like a deck off the back, and there was a creek behind there. So the creek, it obviously because it's a creek, but it's like those white noise type of apps that you listen to go to sleep.
Yep.
Except it's for real.
But our room was on the other side of the house actually, so we didn't even we couldn't open our window at night to listen to the creek because we were on the other side. We were at the side where the bears could come steal the garbage.
Yeah, and there was no bears.
I know, it was disappointing. I wanted to see a bear.
We really wanted to see some wildlife. We saw an otter.
I was gonna say we saw a little otter.
And we saw crawfish.
We saw those in there. And
little baby lobster.
Baby lobster. And we saw some very small fish in the creek.
Yeah, I would totally like to hone in on, seeing things that we don't usually get to see.
We didn't see any lizards or geckos.
No, we did not. I was hoping to see a little bit of wildlife. I mean, not that I was going to go bother it or anything, but that would have been cool. But it was definitely a different pace than what we are used to.
Isn't that the truth? The one thing I kept wanting to see was a bear running down the creek.
I know. He wants to see a bear on TV running up the creek and
bear.
water splashing and the bear's fur flying and all that.
With a fish in it. Come on, with a fish.
Fish.
Kind of like Ava with a bone.
Yeah, kind of like our dog with a bone. So the first night we got there, we didn't get until after dinner time, and they had already eaten, so we were scrambling to find some food.
So they heated us up some hot dogs and some stuff.
What did I eat that first night?
That first
Nothing?
night, I don't.
Oh, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's all there was that you would eat. Because Michelle, as most of you probably know, doesn't eat meat except for just chicken. That's the only thing she eats.
And it has to be white meat chicken, no bone, no yuck on it at all.
You'll eat turkey too if it's well done.
It has to be well done. If there's spicy, any of those. Okay, you know what's gross? Sidebar. Like if you're eating a turkey sandwich and the lunch meat has like those pink circles on it, throw it in the garbage.
Well, it's lunch
throw
meat.
it in the
That's what
garbage.
I'm talking about real turkey.
Freaking nasty.
But I'm talking real turkey cooked. You'll eat that usually if
It's
it's
got to
well,
be like
well done.
so well done that it like sucks all the spit out of your mouth when you chew it.
We got cilantro. You need like
cilantro.
You need like a gallon of gravy for every slice of turkey to bring it back to at least being able to swallow it because it's so dry.
Boy, we took a really hard turn there.
Anyway, back to Tennessee. So, as Michelle said, we got there late. We got there at like 7:45 that night. So we just kind of hung out at the cabin, talking to everybody, sitting on the back porch.
Yeah, just kind of catching up. Our nephews were there. They're 3 and 6, so they stayed up a little bit later, and we got to play with them. And then the next day, it was very hot there, by the way.
Very hot. Very, very, very.
The humidity was really high. It was just really, really hot. So the next day, we were going to go into Gatlinburg, and it was a madhouse.
Oh, my God. I could not believe how I mean, I know it's a weekend. It's summertime. I didn't expect it to be that.
No, the traffic was like worse than around Disney.
It really was.
It was terrible.
But I think that's because they only have 2 lanes in, 2
That's
lanes
not the point.
out,
For
and
dramatic
there's-
effect, it was worse. Than
It was
Disney.
worse. There was 18 lanes of traffic either way, and it was bumper to bumper. It was like sitting in a Disney parking lot with no place to go.
It was awful. No Magic Kingdom in sight.
No Magic
either.
Kingdom in sight. It was like parking at Animal Kingdom, but going to MK. There was
But-
no way to get there.
So it was so crowded and hot, and by the time we found a parking spot, some in our party were irritable. So we found a place to eat that
The
was
parking spot was 3 levels up on the mountain.
okay. So we had to like park way high and then walk down. It was just so strange because you and I went to Gatlinburg last year,
Yes.
and it was easy peasy, lemon squeezy, like no problem parking,
Nope.
not too many people.
We could actually enjoy Gatlinburg walking down that main strip right there of the shops and the restaurants.
Yeah,
and
so
the-
maybe this time of year is the Hot Mess Express.
and we're not going back this time of year.
So anyway, so by the time that we found a parking spot, and there was like Land Shark Bar and Grill because they have Margaritaville resort and different things in Gatlinburg. So there was a little Land Shark bar, and we ate lunch there, and I ate a very delish chicken sandwich.
I had the nachos.
And it was better than the Margaritaville in Orlando, and it was
Yes,
cheaper.
It was much cheaper than Margaritaville in
Much
Orlando.
cheaper.
So we did that for lunch, but then we kind of separated at that point. So Michelle's brother and his family went back to the cabin so the kids could have a nap, and your dad went back with them because it was just really hot, and he had some kind of cold or something. So he really
Yeah, my dad has had like a head cold, so he wasn't feeling so great. But Mom wasn't ready to go back to the cabin yet.
No, she
so
wasn't.
we walked up the streets a little bit with my mom.
Yep.
And then we ended up heading back eventually. But yeah, it was very, very slow paced.
very slow pace, and me and you aren't used to that. We're used to running quick, and if we have to go someplace, we go and we get. we
So
go.
it was almost like we were forced to take a break.
I didn't like it. That part, it was 48 minutes driving to Gatlinburg. Now we were only
to civilization.
we weren't that far away. We were only like 15 miles away, so it was kind of like driving in
It was
Florida.
Cosby Creek, Tennessee, which is
Yeah.
less than an hour outside of Gatlinburg.
Yeah, so we had to drive back and forth to get anywhere, which was quite a long distance of driving. So by the time we got back to the cabin, it was kind of, okay, we're done for the night.
I know, we get back and it's like, okay, it's like 4 o'clock. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And we're, the thing is that we're just used to being on the go. I mean, we live in the vacation capital
Of the world.
Yeah, and and here's the thing. Okay, so don't you find this weird? Like, we sit around at home a lot and we're bored or whatever, but we know that we have the option to leave and go somewhere if we want to.
Quickly. And I think that-
Quickly.
and while we might sit at home to do things, we've always got work that we're doing sometime. We're always on a device working somehow, some way. And being in the cabin, which we did have internet access, we had Wi-Fi, so we were
Praise
able
the
to
Lord.
but it was just that whole difference of you having to drive almost an hour to get anywhere that had things. And then it's a whole different pace there. The parking is like it is at Disney in Gatlinburg, at least. It's $20 to park for the day, no matter what.
Which is crazy.
Which
And the
is
parking situation isn't good. I mean, there's not like a ton of lots for you to park in.
Right.
And I was saying, because we were talking about it on, what was it? My days are screwed up. Friday when we were in Gatlinburg. All the schools are out now.
Correct.
So people are making plans to travel various places, not just Florida. And apparently Tennessee is where it's at.
It is, and I think that if we were to do this again in the summer, I think maybe avoiding the weekend would help save some of that. I mean, you're still going to have the people who are taking their vacations for that week, but you're not going to have the people who are just doing the long weekends.
I don't know, but so when we got back that night, we just I think my brother made burgers and we just kind of sat around.
Yeah, your brother barbecued and made stuff on the grill, and then they had like side dishes in the house, and we just basically sat around and talked and
ate,
sat on the porch and
ate
and
and drank,
snack and ate, and snacked and ate. And I think me and you ran to Dollar General because there was a Dollar General like every 15 feet.
There's $1 million generals. So we always joke with our friends Corey and Lucretia that Alabama is full of Dollar Generals. Well, Tennessee is right up there with it.
It is. And we actually got to go to the Dollar General Market, which we had never been to before. The green sign. And
Can you tell like how rural everything was? We got excited to go into the Dollar General Market.
Because it was close. We had to drive an hour to get there.
But the next day we went into Pigeon Forge. That was the plan, which was Saturday. And our younger son, Aiden, has this fascination with history. And he's smart as a whip when it comes to, he knows more stuff about history than we do. It's ridiculous. And he really wanted to go to the Titanic Museum. And so did my brother. Actually is also a big Titanic aficionado. So that's what we did on Saturday.
Right. So it took about 2 hours to get through the Titanic exhibit. You get to see a lot of the things they found on the ocean floor that they've been able to bring back to land. But you also read a lot of the stories of the passengers, both the ones that passed and the ones that survived. And it's really
it's surreal.
It is, and it's very. I go in there conflicted because I was in there and I'm looking around and I'm like, it's so sad that this museum is making a fortune off these people's tragedy, but it's also sharing the story of what these people went through to keep that focus.
You know, the one part I didn't like. We're gonna talk about the museum in a minute, and I'm probably jumping ahead.
Okay.
But you were talking about the conflicted feeling.
Yeah.
So when you get there, they give you a passport.
Yes.
Before you go in. And, you know, Titanic, yada, yada. You flip it over, and it has a story of one of the passengers. And tells you where they came from, how old they were, what class they were in. And at the very end, you look. They have a wall of names of survivors and people that didn't make it, and you look up the name on the wall to see if you died or not.
Yeah, if your person passed or if they were rescued and made it.
That to me was kind of gross. I mean, so my person made it.
But it brings a realization because all the people as they got on the ship, they too didn't know if they were going to make it or not when that happened.
No, I know that. It's just I think that it was kind of like a roadblock, like just hitting you in the face at the end.
Yeah.
Because like everybody knows the story, everybody knows the ending and how horrible it is. If you were like me, you saw the movie in '97 praying that there was some sort of happy ending, which there wasn't. You know, it's just one of those things. I know when I saw the movie, I was obsessed with it, and I saw it and cried my eyes out to the point I'm like, okay, I'm not going to watch this anymore because it was depressing. And then when we went to actually see, bookmark it for 1 second. He's giving me a face. He's like, what is she doing?
You're all over the board right now.
Okay, no, I have a point.
Okay,
follow me. All right, so back in, it was, I want to say 2011 or 12, we went to the Traveling Titanic exhibit at the Henry Ford Museum in Michigan.
Right.
So we had already seen something similar, but that was the traveling one, which was very awesome, by the way.
I to be honest, I like the traveling one better than the.
Yeah, me too. It seemed like they had more.
They did. They had more things, and I don't know if the museums maybe weren't open, and maybe the traveling one was what they had at the time, so they had more artifacts and such to bring with them.
You know what I'm wondering? So there's more than one Titanic museum. There's one in Orlando that we've never been to, but now we've been to the one in Tennessee. Then there was like the traveling exhibit. So my thought there is that maybe there's only so many artifacts to go around. You know, because yes, this museum had some, but it wasn't an overabundance of things. It was more they had like recreation of the rooms and the grand staircase, and you know, they did have a deck chair from the Titanic. They had a life preserver. They had silverware and plates.
Which the other one, the traveling one, had a lot of that.
But
also.
the traveling one had more. It had like shoes.
They had a lot of personal belongings.
Yes.
On that one.
Yes.
Which is it's kind of odd to think about that those things are still around, that they were lost at sea, and the people who own them. And it's overwhelming on the emotions. And the room that got me the most when we were at the exhibit was, you walk into this one room, there's a great big piano in the middle of the room, and you realize it's the musician's room. And they had the portraits of, I think there were maybe seven or eight musicians. They had large portraits of each of these gentlemen who were playing the music that night. And if you know the story, they did play up until the ship went down. But the gentleman who was kind of running the room and the musician talked about, he said, the head musician had dismissed the other musicians to go back, and he told them, try to find a way to save yourself. Thank you so much for playing.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been my honor. Please take care of yourself and get off. And then he pulled out his violin and he started playing Nearer My God to Thee.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other musicians stopped and they grabbed their instruments and they started playing with him.
And they all went down together.
They all knew they weren't going to make it. And that's how they spent their last minutes of their lives, to play music, to entertain the people. Not to entertain, but to maybe pull their mind away from the tragedy that's happening all around them was what they were trying to do. But the fact that he played that song.
Oh, yeah. So dude tells a sad story. Then he goes to the piano and plays that hymn.
The whole room, I think, had tears in their eyes.
I ugly cried. And it was indoors. I couldn't even put my sunglasses on. It was terrible.
You see some of these big guys who are in that room seeing it. They're all big and filled with muscles and look like nothing bothers them. And you see them wiping their eyes because they're teary-eyed. And it was such a heart-wrenching, because it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how talented you are. At that moment, those men knew they had no chance of survival.
Well, I mean, and they didn't even try. See, I was talking to my dad about that. Back then, like, people had such dignity and honor, especially like, you know, these men that held these higher positions. Right. It was just a different time. No, mind you, it was over 100 years ago.
Right.
And we were talking, like, these days, like, it would be a total mass hysteria, panic.
It would be.
And I would be one of the ones to panic. I'm not even lying,
right.
You know?
On the way there, we actually watched this, because when we're driving, Michelle usually put on, like, Netflix or something. We were watching a documentary about how it really happened with the Titanic. And they talked about Guggenheim, who was on the ship with his servant, was with him, and how once they realized the ship was going down, they went back to their quarters, they put on their finest clothing, they went and sat in a deck chair, sipping their brandy, smoking their cigars, and they said, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down in our best clothing, our best, and then there was the couple who, the wife wouldn't leave the husband. They had been married over 50 years, and she wouldn't go
wouldn't get on the boat
without him. If he couldn't go, she wasn't going without him, so they just held each other, basically. I think it said they sat on the deck and held hands and waited for them to go. I know in the movie they took a couple like that and they had them in the bed and you saw the water coming up around
them. So the movie wasn't spot on.
Right.
I mean, obviously for dramatic effect there were some things changed, but the whole point is that the human tragedy is still there, and all these people, it's just very, very sad. And of course in like Disney fashion, when you leave the exhibit you walk out into a gift shop.
Yeah. After you see the stuff for the movie.
Yeah, okay, so the last room is about the movie, and they show like the door that Rose was floating on, the big controversy of the door. Like, so there's a door, and all of a sudden, like, there's a light above, and you can see the outline of her, and you see Jack's hands on the side. And once you know, there's room. If they would have just spooned, you know, and moved together, there would have been room on that door. But yeah, so it was just very, very interesting and sad, and like you walk out of there with mixed emotions. Right. And like Aiden wanted like I said, he loves the Titanic, and he wanted a souvenir, and he kind of felt weird buying a Titanic hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just because it is so tragic. But I told him, I said, I don't know when we're going to be back to do something like this, so go ahead.
And the gift shop was actually very reasonably priced. I think
it wasn't like Disney prices, that's for sure.
I think the hoodie was like $24. It was really good quality. And a lot of shirts were like $18 or 2 for $30. Everything in there was reasonably priced, and I think it was $38 or $39 per person to get in there for adults. So they had all that. They had the gift shop, and then took about 2 hours roughly. The only thing I would say about it is because they let you in on certain times, so you have a reserved time, and it's every 15 minutes they let another group in. I think there was just too many people in there. You almost feel like you're being rushed because other people are trying to see everything, and there's just not enough time to see it all.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad we got to go, because those really going to eat in the Titanic Museum were the only two things that we really did. Like the rest of the weekend, we basically sat at the cabin.
Yeah, we left there actually. Again, Michelle's brother and his family went back to the cabin to give the kids a nap, and we went to lunch with Michelle's mom and dad, and then we went back to the cabin, and that's where we stayed the rest of the day.
See, and it's different when you vacation with other people because, like my brother and my sister-in-law love like just to put their feet in the creek and they could stay there all day.
Yeah.
And then my mom likes to shop a little bit.
Mhm.
My dad's fine wherever you put him.
Yeah.
And then us that we're pretty easygoing.
Yeah. For the most part.
For the most part, but we're on the go so much, but I feel like sometimes it's needed to just stop.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you just need to take that break and just.
And when you're forced to, when you're out in the boonies and there's no place to go, you have no choice.
And that's true. And we were forced to do just that.
Yeah. But we're back.
We're back. Guess who's back? Back again. But yeah, so we left yesterday morning. We of course stopped at Buc-ee's on the way home because you have to stop at Buc-ee's.
Well, of course.
It's a traveling tradition. If
Buc-ee's is a rite of passage, basically.
Although the ones we went to yesterday were just insanely, they were crazier than Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. There was so many people at both Buc-ee's we went to. It was just insane. You couldn't even find a parking space.
Oh my gosh, it's like everybody and their mother were at Buc-ee's.
Yeah. And their mother's grandmother, uncles, sisters, cousin, who they roomed with in college was there also. I mean, it was just so crazy. But we did get our gas and snacks at Buc-ee's.
We did. No, we didn't really buy anything, though.
No. Well, I bought barbecue sauce because if you haven't had Buc-ee's barbecue sauce, buy it.
It is the best. And it's cheap.
It is very cheap.
It's like $2.99, and it's like the best stuff.
See, the thing with Buc-ee's is everything is reasonably priced when you look at one thing. Everything is. But then you end up, because you think it's so cheap, you end up buying a lot more than you ever needed. And this was a cheap Buc-ee's trip for us, but it used to be when we first started going to Buc-ee's, we would not walk out there without spending $100.
No, and they have them in Florida, too, which is nice. But that's like whenever we travel north, Buc-ee's is our thing. But it was so crowded. It was like being in an awful traffic jam, and every time we tried to move, there was a roadblock.
Yeah.
So we decided not to shop. We went to the bathroom. The bathroom line was around the whole store.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even shop or anything.
There was no way to shop. You couldn't get
You couldn't get around anybody.
No.
And for me, that's not fun. I don't like to be in a place like that where I start getting walking road rage. Because I do get walking road rage a lot.
And see, I just walk. People move because when I come at them, they're either going to get knocked over or they're going to move. So they usually move. I just put my shoulders out.
You do not.
Puff it out. Boom.
No, I just get irritated and I huff and puff a little bit. But yeah, because
that old lady wanted that brisket sandwich. And
Yeah.
I wanted it first. So
people just aren't self-aware. That's all. So we're back in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Got here late. It was almost 11 o'clock last night when we got finally home.
Yes.
We were exhausted.
Very tired. So today has kind of just been a catch-up day and kind of blah.
Yeah, it took forever to get home. It wasn't because traffic was heavy. There was a lot of construction. There was a lot of accidents. There was a police chase through Georgia.
We saw a real-life police chase.
Yeah, they came. I was on the left lane, and the truck comes flying past me. It ended up taking the mirror off of a car a few feet in front of us. And then like 9 police cars were chasing after him.
Like going 100 miles an hour on the shoulder. It was crazy.
I would love to have seen what happened.
No, we didn't get to see what happened because all the traffic backed up.
I know.
Yeah, it was like almost like real life true crime.
I wanted to see him pull the guy out of the car and just beat him.
Yeah, the guy did. He must have did something really bad for him to be going like over 100 on a shoulder and have a bunch of cops chasing him.
He was at Buc-ee's getting that last brisket sandwich. And
he stole a brisket sandwich.
No, whatever he did. I know they caught him because he really had no place to go.
No.
Traffic was already
dummy.
Backed up and slow at that point, and then you try to fly through traffic on the shoulder, and you don't think the cops are going to come after you.
Yeah, it was really stupid on his part.
Yeah, he's lucky a semi didn't swerve because he would have went flying off the freeway.
He had knocked somebody's poor mirror like right off.
Ripped it right off the car.
People are so stupid, I swear. All right, so anyway, back in Florida, and some announcements hit today. So last night, Disney Parks blog changed like their header and their profile picture to Christmas stuff. Now, normally, in previous years, media gets a heads up that halfway to the holidays is coming or halfway to Halloween is coming, and this year we did not.
Right.
So basically it was a surprise for everyone, and we didn't get any separate emails or anything, so we got all the news the same time you guys did. And then in the past years for Halloween and Christmas, the whole week would be announcements.
Right.
So
this year Halloween was only
one day.
One day.
Because I kept waiting. I'm like, is there more? There's more. Because usually it's every day.
Right. And Christmas, there was already 3 blogs that came out with information. So will we have more? Tomorrow's actually 6 months exactly to the tomorrow's June 25th. So I'll be curious if we get any more
it's
tomorrow.
6 months to Christmas Eve today.
Yes.
So I don't know. If they do it like Halloween, that might be it.
Because I don't know what else they could really announce. I mean, all the announcements, there was some food offerings, there was merchandise announcements, there was what events are going to be taking place around the properties worldwide. They had international information, they had Disneyland information, and Walt Disney World. So it's like, okay, it seems like they've announced everything. I don't know what else.
Yeah, they didn't hold back.
Announce.
They put out a lot of stuff today.
I know, way to spread it out. Seriously, it's like putting all your Christmas presents in one box. Here you go, just open it. That's all you get.
Here's all of it, so you can't even savor it because it was like boom, boom, boom. Like
Christmas is over.
Yeah. So, do you want to speak on a couple of the things they talked about today?
So I did write notes, and I do have all the information up in front of me, so I can read some of my highlights, and then we can talk about them a little bit if you want to, and go from there.
Sure.
Okay, so the big announcement that was on top of two of the blogs was Jollywood Nights is returning, which we had hoped for. A lot of people weren't sure. We were hopeful that it would come back because we did go, as most of you know, we went to the very first party and we went to the very last party last year.
And the last part, they finally had their crap together.
They had it fixed so well. The first one was a total mess. I don't think they planned for certain things, but by the last party, they had it together. It was a lot of fun, and I was really hoping they would bring it back based on what we saw at the end. So it will run from November 8th to December 20th on select nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and tickets for that will go on sale July 10th.
Oof.
So lots of fun there. Speaking of parties, though, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party will also run from the same dates, November 8th through December 20th on its select nights, and tickets for that go on sale July 2nd.
So, but is it like last year where Jollywood was only like 10 nights?
You know what? That's a good question.
Because there was only a handful of Jollywood, and Very Merry ran like every other night.
Right. I had that. Let me just find that information for you, and I can tell you right away. No, I just didn't have that one up.
I was just curious because I know they didn't have many last year. There was
no,
10.
they didn't. That's a really good question, actually.
Thank you. I'm inquisitive.
You had a good inquisitive dot. Okay, so we have 3, 6, 7. There is more than 10 dates this year. So we have, I think it's 13.
Oh, they added 3.
Yeah, so looking closely, yeah, it looks like 3 nights. Trying to read here.
I know they added more things to do also.
And one thing, so I did say tickets will be available beginning on the 10th. Is that what I said? July 10th?
I don't know what you said.
But if you have a reservation at select Disney Resort hotels, the Swan and Dolphin or Shades of Green, you can purchase tickets beginning July 2nd. So that's what they did last year also. There was, if you had a reservation at a hotel during that time, you could purchase the ticket a little bit sooner. So I'm trying to see here. They even showed the ears and a little bag that they're going to have with their icon, that gingerbread man cookie.
Yeah, the gingerbread guy.
He'll be there, but Reunite, beloved characters, Phineas and Ferb, Santa Duffy, Santa Stitch will all be there. So I think it's going to be, Ollie. That was the name of the Dapper Gingerbread Man.
Dapper Gingerbread Man. Yeah, it looks like they have like more merchandise than just a T-shirt.
It does. Yeah, that was it. Last year we had one T-shirt to choose from.
And it wasn't even Christmassy. It was like navy blue.
I think it was just the logo screenshot onto the paper.
So I read, I didn't like go dive too deep, but they're supposed to have skaters on their main road this year, like some sort of I'm guessing it's not ice skating, obviously. Probably be fake ice skating, like roller skating.
Exactly. But the most exciting thing is that What's This
is coming back.
Which if you didn't get to go last year, I highly recommend if you go this year, go see What's This. It's the sing-along.
It was Scott's favorite.
Oh my, you loved it too. It was great.
I know, but whenever we talk about it, you light up like a Christmas tree.
I could sit there and watch that for the entire 5 hours of the
I don't know if I could do it for 5 hours.
I could, because after the first one, that was the most entertaining thing of the first night, and I think the show is just phenomenal. And then you get to see the big Jack Skellington that comes out, the same one that comes out on the stage for Halloween at Magic Kingdom.
Same one.
So, and that takes place in the Frozen sing-along theater.
Yeah.
So you can see it in there. So I'm excited that they're bringing that back. I think it's going to be great. And there's you're still going to be, the 3 Caballeros will be there this year doing character meet and greets. So you'll have all them there. The Twilight Soiree at the Tip Top Club, which is
Hopefully there's more room back there.
I hope there's more. We didn't go there the second time. We went there the first time. There's still going to be something going on at the Hollywood Brown Derby. So make sure you check it all out. But like I said, tickets for the general public go on sale on the 10th of July. But if you select Disney Resorts, Swan and Dolphin, and Shades of Green, you can get tickets beginning July 2nd. You just want to go out there and check and see when it's available. What's weird is it says in the article it starts on November 8th, but the first night is November 9th.
But then I don't quite understand what that's supposed to
I don't understand either. It says in the one article it will run from November 8th through December 20th, but then the first night is November 9th. So who knows? Maybe it was just a typo.
I guess we'll find out. But you can read all the information on the MainStreetMouse.com. We have all the info for Jollywood out there now.
Definitely. And then, like I had mentioned, Mickey's Not So Scary. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas Party is great. They don't do it that often. But Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is returning, which we knew.
Is there anything new for that, or is it same old, same old?
I don't remember seeing anything new on that. Yeah, it just talks about it's returning. It doesn't say. Of course, there'll be a new Spirit jersey and there'll be new merchandise, of course.
Of course, and they showed a preview of the holiday merchandise as well. There's a Spirit jersey for Very Merry. There's, like I said, that there's some new things for Jollywood, and of course they have the holiday, the ears, the backpack, the sweaters, all of the stuff they usually do.
The whole kit, kat, and caboodle.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this one is, so I was wrong on this. Tickets go on sale July 2nd again if you're staying at a resort, July 10th for the general public.
Okay.
So for both parties, everybody else July 10th, but if you're staying at select resorts, July 2nd.
So here's what I'm wondering. Prices, if everything's gone up, because it seems to go up every year.
Yeah, it always goes up. They didn't really say anything about prices. Let me try to see if they have them listed here real quick. Because last year it went up, and I'm sure it's going to go up again because that's just the way they do. And the Christmas party always sells out.
It just bothers me because years ago when we first moved here, we could actually afford to go to the Christmas party with the boys, and we've talked about this so many times, whether on all our shows about the separate ticket parties, but they get so expensive, and when you're already spending a lot of money on Disney tickets and hotel and all that stuff, to throw extra nights in that are that expensive, I know that it's harder for people now. I mean, we live here. We don't even have to get a hotel. And a lot of times, we haven't taken the boys for Christmas in a couple of years because it's too expensive.
It is too expensive. So I did find the ticket prices.
Oh, boy.
So again, the party will run from 7 to midnight each day. Usually, though, you can get in beginning at 4 o'clock, I think is what it is. 3 hours before the party starts, you're allowed to get in there to see it. But ticket prices are going to range from $169 up to $219. And the $219 is usually like the last party of the season is the most expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the last party is on the 20th of December. So you have 5 days before Christmas. It's the last party.
Won't be doing that.
And there is discounts. Annual pass holders and Disney Vacation Club members can save $10 on their party tickets. It's not a ton, but at least it's something you can save. And just trying to read here to see if there's anything else and then it says the entertainment. Now it talks about Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration. Is that a new stage show?
You know what?
Because the picture shows Jessie and Woody.
Yeah, that's the show.
Is it the show with them?
Yeah, we just usually don't watch it.
Okay. And then Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time Fireworks are back. Mickey's Once Upon a Time Christmas Parade and characters and dance parties, of course, will be happening throughout.
Of course.
So, and then, of course, there's lots of merchandise. There'll be special snacks and treats throughout. And then, of course, there will be the cookies and the cocoa at the different stations that are included with the price of admission.
Yes.
And I always like the cookies and cocoa. So, and the attractions are open as well, so you can do that. And then there'll be like I know there's a fireworks dessert party that night. And there's other different things. There'll be different table service dinings at night.
They always have special holiday offerings like food and stuff. I don't know if they put out I don't think they did a foodie guide yet.
I haven't seen a foodie guide yet. And don't forget about there's the special PhotoPass experiences. So if you have PhotoPass, make sure you take advantage of that because they do have a lot of enhanced PhotoPass magic, I guess you could call it, that they do.
Extra magic
with all that stuff. So that's what's cool. So let's see what else we have. So Festival of Holidays will be returning to Epcot. which is one of our
We
favorite
love
festivals.
Festival of the Holidays.
And that's going to run from November 29th through December 3rd. And the biggest highlight of the Festival of Holidays is, of course,
December 3rd.
December 30th, sorry.
I was going to say it's only a couple days this time.
That's it, 4 days if you don't go.
You better hop on that.
And the big event is the Candlelight Processional, which they have not announced any narrators yet. But once that comes out, we will make sure to share that out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really, for some reason, I just love that festival. I like the food they offer and all the decorations and World Showcase. I just think it's just really nice, and our kids like it too.
True. And also at Magic Kingdom, they're going to have the Frozen Holiday Surprise during regular days, not just during the party. So
Is that the pretend lighting that they're not really lighting anything?
Yeah, when Elsa lights the castle, even though it should be the fairy godmother.
Well, so here's the thing.
Bring back the fairy godmother, or we protest or boycott or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, so they're not doing the dream lights again. It's projections.
Yes.
And I've seen, so mind you, this news just came out today, and people are already crabbing about the lights. Like I've
Are
seen,
they really?
Oh yeah, I've seen it online because everybody has been like waiting for those lights to come back because it was such a beautiful
great.
thing.
It was standing there when it was completely dark, and then all of a sudden they just start slowly lighting. And then the whole thing just lights up at one time. And it's just fantastic to see. And it's sad that people won't ever get to see it if they don't ever bring it back.
You know, and I'm wondering because the way that theme parks are doing things differently now, I hope it's not the case, but I worry that that's a thing of the past. They're not bringing it back because it's cheaper to do projections.
It is. It's cheaper to do projections. And if you remember the castle lighting, it was weeks before that they'd start hanging the lights on the castle, and people would gripe, there's a crane in my pictures, there's all this stuff. So Disney, by not doing that anymore, they don't have to deal with the people mad about that for weeks before the Christmas party starts.
But even so, they had those lights lit until first or second week of January, and like we used to after Christmas break, we would go back and see the lights again because they were just. I mean, to me, I was such a fan that I would go there just to see the lights.
Yeah, that's all you needed to see.
Like the decorations and those castle lights were beautiful. It just makes me sad that they're not there. But like everything else, like look at Osborne Lights, how people are still upset about that.
I'm still upset about that.
And that's been gone for a while.
It's been gone way too long.
2015.
I know. I wish they would have done something else with it. I know they sent a lot of those lights over to Give Kids the World, and they do something over there, but I really miss it being the way they had it at the studio.
I miss the studios in general, how it used to be. And, like when it was like a quote-unquote movie studio.
Right.
And there's something to be said for, those memories and how things were and I don't think you always need to change things. And I know that that was a big change.
That was a huge change I think a lot of that was because of Galaxy's Edge was coming in. They needed the room to put Galaxy's Edge in, so they had to rip out the Streets of America.
Which was sad. I'm just glad that we moved here and we had 2 seasons of the Osborne before it got taken away. But so I posted something in our Facebook group about like if you could bring something back that's gone, what would you bring back? And a lot of people said Osborne Lights.
Yep. And it was something you only got to see at that time of year. So you had to make a trip here during that time to be able to see it. But
it was worth it.
It was so worth it because I remember us standing back there when it was daylight out and you're waiting for it to get dark. And then once dark hits and they start talking, and then all of a sudden Santa Goofy comes out and he's going to pull the switch to get it going with a usually with a family of the day.
Yeah.
They got to turn the switch with him. And then the lights everywhere, and the music, and the
it was overwhelming when you were standing in the streets of America and to see the lights like blinking around you and feel the loud music and the whole thing. It was quite an experience, and
it really was.
I don't know. I'm one of those that I'm half and half with stuff. Like I think some of the new stuff that Disney is doing is really cool. But I really miss a lot of the old stuff, too.
I miss the old stuff. I think the old stuff trumps all the new stuff that's out there right now. I mean, I just think I know nothing said anything about a new drone show coming to this Springs, but I hope we get a Christmas drone show like we had years ago. That would be nice. But, I mean, the drone show's great, but I still like the old stuff better. I like the lighting of the Cinderella Castle. I like the Streets of America turning into Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights. I miss all that. So it's just, I don't know, it's sad. Also, Animal Kingdom's bringing back the Merry Menagerie.
The puppets.
The puppets. And Hollywood Studios is going to have a Yuletide projection shows on the Tower of Terror. Like they've had in the
yes.
past.
I forgot about that.
Yes, so that will be there. Also, there was a note in one of theirs that Santa will be making appearances at all 4 parks, Disney Springs, and the water parks this year. So, check your Times guide to see, because he can't be in all 7 places at once.
It's magic. He can be there.
He is Santa, so he can teleport from one place to the other to be there as quickly as possible. Disney Springs will be bringing back the Christmas tree stroll, which that's one thing I liked how they used to do it.
It was an actual stroll.
It was, and now you have to stroll through the entire Springs.
It was
it
was the Christmas tree trail. Then it was an actual area, and then when they started spreading it out, I don't care for it. No. I liked it when all the trees were together and they had the fake snow and the hot cocoa place set up in there, and you could buy ornaments, and that was so much better than what they do now.
And you could buy the ornaments that were actually on those trees. I remember the Haunted Mansion tree. They would have like all the ornaments that you could purchase that were available for that tree, and
it was all in one spot.
It was so easy. And then of course they had the special popcorn bucket or the drink cups or whatever it was that went along with the whole thing. So I miss all that, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But eventually people won't even remember that stuff. They're just going to be focused on what's new.
We'll remember.
We'll remember. Some other things they mentioned, though, is that in Disneyland, Mickey and Minnie are getting new outfits.
I saw that.
There's going to be new merchandise, which another blog went out with a lot of the merchandise. I don't know if that's everything, but it had a lot of the merchandise in there. So you want to check that out. Did you see anything on there that it's like I have to have that when it comes out?
There was a pillow in there that I liked. I think it was the snowman pillow.
Pillow? Okay.
And, so sidebar, when it comes to merchandise, like I have so many Spirit jerseys that are just collecting dust that I don't wear. Actually, they're not collecting dust because they're in bags. But I have so many jerseys. I have so many pairs of ears that I don't wear. So, like, I'm trying not to buy stuff. I'm trying to be smarter because you get really caught up.
Right.
And I don't want to keep buying crap that I'm not going to use.
Yeah, I get that completely. I'm just browsing through the merchandise now to see it. And it's a lot of it's just this year's version of the Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
jerseys
same stuff.
A lot of the ears are the same. A lot of the hats are the same. A lot of the plushes are the same. It's just whatever this year's thing is. They did have cheerful table lanterns. Did you see that? It's ornaments.
Is that what those were?
Yeah, it says they're table lanterns that I guess light up. When I first saw it, I thought it was a popcorn bucket of some sort.
Okay, so I would like that because I love lights and stuff.
I know you do, and I think that might be a cool thing. I don't know if they're plastic or what they are.
Or how big they are, because at Halloween. Excuse me, at Halloween time they got that big old pumpkin they sell at Disney.
I know. I wish we would have bought that last year. Now
they're going to have more.
I know, but every year is going to be a little bit different. So if you missed out on the first one, you'll never be able
to. They have Pumpkin Family now. I think they're having
whole Pumpkin Family?
Because they have like the Mickey pumpkin, and I think they're going to have a mini pumpkin and a baby pumpkin.
Oh, boy.
I think. Unless I dreamt that up. It could have been.
When did Mickey and Minnie have a baby?
It's a pumpkin.
I understand that, but if it's a pumpkin family and Mickey and Minnie are the mom and dad.
Hey, maybe there's no baby. I could have swore that's what I saw. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right because I think I remember seeing that as well. Now that
sure, make me think I'm crazy.
But now that you said that, it's making me think it's like, okay.
Because they're not really. Okay, here's the thing.
I know, they just have ears on.
I got it. Ready?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
They are pumpkins dressed like Mickey and Minnie.
Ah, there you go.
And they dress their baby pumpkin as a Disney character too.
I get that. Okay, so that's the merchandise.
They're just like us, Scott.
They're just like us, just pumpkin versions of us, filled with all that goo and seeds.
Ew, you don't have to go with goo and seeds.
Okay, back to Christmas. Of course, there's going to be maritime sailings on the Disney Cruise Line.
Yes.
So most people, I would guess, are already booking that or going to be booking that very shortly here because I know that stuff kind of fills up and you want.
Yeah, because between Halloween and the high season and the Christmas cruises,
right,
which both are very, very nice.
And then they even mentioned Disney Christmas is coming back to Hong Kong Disneyland. Fan favorites at Christmas are returning to Disneyland Paris, and Tokyo Disney is returning with their version of Christmas. And they showed some photos of like the parade, I think, in Paris, and it looked really cool.
They laid it all out on the line today. They didn't hold back anything, really.
And then there is a new Frozen and Nightmare Before Christmas vinyl record set that's coming out for the holidays, which special vinyl prints like that if you're a collector of that. And then the other thing I saw was the virtual 12K run that's coming out for the holidays with a medal that looks like the ears. That's the ornament. You know, the ear ornaments that they sell for Christmas?
Yes.
That's what the medal looks like, is one of those.
So it's virtual. They're not doing like a real run?
Correct. It said it's all virtual. So I didn't read all the details because we're not exactly run Disney people.
Wait, I have a question.
I only run for food, nothing else. If they put food at the end of the finish line, I'd run the whole time.
My question is, not that I'm going to do it.
Right.
But my question is, couldn't you like totally lie to get the medal?
Well, you just told them you would lie to get the medal, so guess who's not going to be able to...
No, I mean,
register?
not me. I'm just saying there's some people that like just want the medal.
I'm sure there is people.
And then how does Disney know you really walked all that way? Because, you know, you can walk it and they give you like so much time. Because we've thought about doing that.
Do you have to... And I don't know, so this is just me off
We're
the
not
top of my
runners.
head. Is there an app that you have, though, like the app that's on your phone that tells you how far you've walked?
I don't think so, because I know they did one a couple summers ago, and it was kind of like the honor system.
See, I think a lot of
and
people...
people lie. I mean, I don't know.
But you know what? It doesn't cost Disney anything. They send them the medal, and people pay to be in that virtual 12K.
This
or
is
whatever it
true,
is,
so why do they care?
Yeah, they don't care at that point, probably. It's no different than if you did the real thing and you just walked it.
I guess.
So, but that's basically the synopsis of everything that's coming for the holidays that was announced. Now, like we had said, we don't know if more is going to come out tomorrow. I'm leaning towards I don't think there'll be any more announcements, but who knows?
I mean, if they go the Halloween route, it's a one and done.
It's a one and done if it's like Halloween.
But who knows?
But I guess we'll see. But as more information comes out, just stick close to the Main Street Mouse, and we will put it out. Social media will have the information, and you can
As quickly as we can. We try. So one thing I wanted to mention, I noticed it yesterday when we were driving back from Tennessee, is I saw a photo online from a food Disneyland food page or something on Instagram.
Okay.
And so Disneyland has tangled ears.
Of course they do. They get everything else tangled.
They get all the good stuff.
And the international parks do too.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
All right. So, you know, I've been crabbing for years and years that they don't
You
have.
crabbed about that?
Yes. They don't have enough tangled. So apparently I was on the right path because they got these tangled ears in out at Disneyland and they cannot keep them in stock.
Nope.
So because they don't do tangled.
No, they don't do enough of the stuff for tangled like they do for all the other ones.
Like some of the things are so over freaking saturated, and then like, okay, enough already. And I'm not gonna name a couple that I'm referring to, but there are some that like, okay, we get it, yay. But there's like, as far as tangle goes, when I saw the picture of those ears, I was like, ooh, no, I don't need any more ears.
I say you don't even wear them.
I don't. But if I can get my hands on a pair of those tangled ears, I want them. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they make it this way.
Well, if any of our friends who are listening to this live out in Disneyland and you see them, if you could,
and you know how much I love tangled,
if you could pick them up and let us know, we could send you the funds to get them for Michelle and ship them to her. But yeah, they're not here at Walt Disney World as of yet, and they're sold out in Disneyland.
Yeah, somebody so they were doing, from what I read in the car yesterday, they were doing like, people were trying to spot like where because they were sold out in this store and sold out in that store, and then somebody said that Oswald's, when you walk into California Adventure on the left there that has a hat, somebody found like 2 there.
Oh wow!
And then they were sold out again. So it's like they're the hot ticket item. It reminds me of Rose Gold back in 2017.
I was thinking the exact same thing, the way you said that they're selling out, because everybody's been wanting more tangled stuff for years with Disney, and they haven't done it. And now this year they did the Fantasy Springs Overseas. It's gonna be a tangled ride. There's a ride coming to Disneyland Paris for tangled. Now the ears dropped in Disneyland, which Disneyland does have more tangled than Walt Disney World.
They do. It's just funny though, because like I have seen them do various releases of different IPs, like how many Cinderella ears have they put out, or how many Frozen ears, or Belle, or Little Mermaid, and like no tangled.
No, they've never done tangled. Tiana finally got her ears when she got the ride.
Well, she's had them before too.
Oh, has she?
Yes, she has.
Okay.
So this is not her first rodeo either. So it's like it's about time, but now they can't keep them in stock. So hopefully they come to Walt Disney
They're going to rose gold them though. They probably have 100,000 of them sitting in a warehouse somewhere, but they're only going to release 50.
Because of the supply and demand, get all the hype up for
They
it.
will, because they're going to watch all the eBayers be selling them now on
I hate
eBay for
that.
3, 4, 5 times the cost.
I
of what
bet
it
you
was.
they're on
I
eBay.
guarantee they're on eBay, and I'm sure they're not cheap. I'm willing to bet that they're up there for quite a bit of money. So,
But that so ruins it for your average Disney shopper that just goes to the park and wants something for themselves.
well,
and
yeah, the fan.
the fan, like for me, I don't want to buy them to sell them. I just want to have them.
So they are already. I just looked it up. They are on eBay. $39.49, $33.50, $49.99, $39.87. These are the ones. $48.99 with a picture in front of the Tangled Tower that's in Disneyland.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So my advice: don't go buy them on eBay, because I know it's not against the law, but it just bothers me when people buy stuff. They use their pass holder discounts or whatever, and then they resell them.
Oh, for sure.
It's just not cool. So I don't know. People are going to do what they want to do, but my opinion is I would never buy it off of eBay for that purpose, because it just encourages them to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. So I will kindly and patiently bide my time and hope that we get them this way. But if we do, I said I wasn't buying any more ears, but I will buy those.
It'll be like when they dropped the Rapunzel Doonies, and we were there that morning in line.
I know enough people here to go to the parks that I could, if I didn't get there, somebody could get them.
I think there's enough people here that if they see them in the park, they'll pick them up, put them aside, and know they. So you're going to end up with like 52 pair.
Okay, maybe I will eBay them.
You're gonna have a pair for every week of the year.
Be like, okay, I might wear those. It's just weird because like I wore ears to the Tiana event 2 weeks ago. Just some of the ears give me a headache. Like
Right, because you said they pinch too much. Or
they push like behind my ears, and then my whole head hurts. But they've been actually getting better about it. Like the Tiana ones I wore, they were sore at the end of the night, but they weren't like killing me. Do you remember years ago we would go to the Halloween parties and I put on the Halloween ears and I'm like, I got to take them off because
they were giving you a headache.
Horrible. And then like it's that pain that you touch, it hurts, and even your hair starts to hurt. It's not worth it.
No, maybe Disney finally took a note from the people who were complaining about those things, or maybe they went to the people on Etsy who make their own to find out what they do better, that people like them better.
But yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, but okay.
I just wanted to mention that. That's all.
So we're looking for Rapunzel ears, the official Disney ones. No, not the knockoff ones that people make.
Right. So we'll see.
Okay. Is there anything else going on at Disney right now? Is that the big news of the week? Besides Tiana's opening later this week.
I believe that's all.
That's
so
it?
far, anyway.
Yeah, I kind of glanced. I didn't really see any other major news. There was an article about how to stay cool at Disney that came out this week. If you're down here, hydrate for the full summer. That's the only thing you need to do at Disney is
and if
stay
you can
hydrated.
take breaks and go into the air conditioned stores, do that.
Definitely. Don't overdo it, because we were there last week. We saw stretchers going by.
Oh my gosh! The past few times we've been to the parks, a stretcher has gone by.
Yeah, and this is a public service announcement, public PSAs. Drink your water, people. Don't overdo it. Don't push yourself.
If you feel woozy, go in the AC. Go in a store. Go somewhere. Because I know that I've gotten woozy before, and I waited too long.
Yeah, make sure you have a pretzel, substance in your stomach, water. Whatever medicine you need, like she said, air conditioning. I know a lot of people bring those towels that you can wet and they stay cold for a while, wrap around your neck and such.
And we're only telling you this because, like we just said, we've seen a lot of like EMTs in the parks because people get so hot. But it's hot everywhere now.
There's a heat wave growing on across the U.S., especially
even up in Michigan.
Yeah, the Midwest is getting really hard. But yeah, just remember that to stay cool. Because even last year at the Halloween party, one of our colleagues passed out because the heat was so bad, and that was in August. So just remember, hydrate yourself. You don't want to be that person that Disney has to pull out, because that will ruin your entire trip.
Yeah, you don't want those kind of memories. They're not so magical.
So the 20 minutes to take and rest for a minute is worth it to not have to go out on a stretcher.
Yeah, it's hot. So yeah, and I guess that's all I know.
That's it for Disney. So other attractions, I put a little bit in here. We do have another media event coming up next Monday.
The penguin thing.
Yes, we're going. Penguin Trek is opening at SeaWorld next week. So we will be there for the media preview on the 1st, and we'll have a ride cam video they're going to do with Michelle and I on it. So we will put that out once we get that for you guys to see. And then the ride opens to the public on July 7th. I think there's going to be pass holder previews before that, though.
Probably.
If you're a SeaWorld Orlando pass holder, make sure you check into that. Also last week, Michelle did put out the picture that the next land was announced by Epic Universe for Dark Universe.
Yes.
Announced coming to Epic Universe. And this is the one I've been looking most forward to because this is the one that's going to have all the
monsters and
Universal
things.
monsters, but it's going to have a lot of other stuff. So just make sure you are ready for that. If you want to read more about it, we do have an article on the Main Street Mouse.
We do. I'm excited about that.
I am too. I think that one's going to be great. Just reading about that one, I got excited. And then like the roller coaster or the ride they're going to have on there with the Curse of the Werewolf, or you go to Frankenstein's Experiment, and you see him.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, yes, we still have a year to wait, but yeah, so if you want all the updates on Epic Universe, we have blogs on that as well.
We do, so I'm really excited about that. And I even read something that you're going to be able to go in there. There's going to be a place where you, almost how they do Bippity Boppity as a princess, but you can go there and be made up as a monster.
I want to do that.
With Universal's makeup people doing your monster to look like them.
So they could like put my hair up like in a big square like the Bride of Frankenstein?
And spray the lightning bolts and white on it and do all that. So I think that would be really cool. So I'm really excited about Dark Universe. So like I said, we do have a blog on the Main Street Mouse. If you want to read more about it, go check it out. But that's the land I'm most excited about. And I'm really kind of excited because they talked a little bit more about how you're going to, so the Chronos, which is the thing that Michelle keeps putting pictures out when they send us a coin, that's going to be like the main area. And then you're going to go through they're calling it a portal into that land,
right?
Whatever it is, which is kind of cool to me that you're going to like portal into like Dark Universe or Nintendo World or any of the other ones. I know there's one more land and
it's about Harry Potter. Yeah.
Which I know a lot of fans love the Harry Potter, and the Harry Potter at the current Universal parks is phenomenal. It's so much fun.
It's really good. And it's funny how they saved the last two that people were the most excited about for last.
Yes, and I do think Dark Universe is going to be the one that Disney's going to have to do something with villains to compete with that. At least that's my hope.
Possibly so. There's just so much online, people talking about, that Disney can't even get Tiana's working, but Universal's building the whole park. I mean, there's just a lot. So I guess, like we had said last time, we'll see what Josh announces at D23. Hopefully it's solid things instead of blue sky things.
I really don't want blue sky things,
Don't tease us, Josh. Just come on.
No, because that was last time they made 3 possible things coming to what's going to happen beyond Big Thunder.
Yes, beyond Big Thunder.
And we haven't heard a thing since then. It's been 2 years. And it's like, come on, tell us what you guys...
Maybe we'll find out in August. Who knows?
I don't know. You know they know what they're doing.
Of course they don't.
They're just holding... They knew what they were doing 2 years ago when they announced the 3 different things. They just don't want to tell us. And we need to find out what's going to happen with Animal Kingdom. That's the big one, too, because the whole Dino Land is just sitting there right now.
Right.
And needs something to make it better. So
stay tuned for that, too.
Stay tuned for that. So Michelle's question for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So with all the Christmas announcements today, what is it that you look forward to the most at Christmas at Disney? What part of the whole thing do you like the most?
Oh, I'm going to say that's hard because I love Christmas. I'm going to say the decorations at Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
But I also like Hollywood Studios. I like the Sunset Seasons Greetings.
Yeah. Laser snow.
Yeah, laser snow is a big thing. The decorations.
I like the studio's decorations too because it's kind of that
old-fashioned type of stuff.
The bigger light bulbs and such, like the old Italian lights and stuff.
See, the only park I don't care for at Christmas is Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, but we don't care for that during regular times.
That's true. But you know what I mean?
No offense if Animal Kingdom's your favorite. We're just not big fans of Animal Kingdom.
No, and I think the puppets, I mean, they're cute and all, but it's not worth my time to go over there.
Right, you're not going to go over there just to see the puppets.
So here's why. You ready for it? Here's why. Because not Halloween. The holiday season at Disney is not as long as Halloween.
Correct.
So we are sick to death of Halloween by the time it gets here.
Yep.
So Christmas goes by a lot faster. And I guess for me, if I only have so much time to visit certain parks or see as much as I can during the season, that I would rather go to places that I know for sure that are going to make me feel festive. And there's that whole Christmas spirit that, and it's more Christmassy.
I get
at other places.
You get more If you're gonna take your time to spend it doing something, you want to make sure you get more of what you want to see.
Plus, Animal Kingdom kind of closes early, and the puppets just don't do it for me.
And the lights look better after dark.
Yeah, they do have a pretty tree in front of Animal Kingdom.
They do have a great tree over there, but I get what you're saying, though, that you want to see more of that.
Maybe put lights on the puppets.
And I know you probably got some people like when you said that we're tired of the Halloween season, but for those listening, you need to remember Halloween here starts the second week in August.
We get almost 3 months of Boo to You.
And we get like a month and a half of Christmas because, as we said, Christmas isn't starting until November 8th this year.
Yeah.
And Christmas parties and everything are done by the 20th.
But they keep the decorations up. But it doesn't feel the same because after we go to see the decorations one more time, I mean, it just feels like it's weird. It's like January 3rd and they're still playing Christmas music and it's past tense. I mean, I'll leave our tree up just because I like it.
But we're also gone for the week of Christmas. We go to Michigan to be with family, so we get back from Michigan. We have our Christmas here. We usually do New Year's here. We do our Christmas here with the boys, and they don't get their Christmas stuff from us until after Christmas. So before we go to Michigan, though, we always do go to the Magic Kingdom before, and we usually have a family dinner.
We used to do the Christmas party before it got stupid expensive. Now we just plan an evening to take the boys and get some pictures taken and eat dinner at Magic Kingdom. It's a lot cheaper than doing a Christmas party.
It is. So and everybody enjoys it, and
I know, I love it. I love Christmas at Disney. I love Christmas in general. So.
And you don't have time to get tired of it. I want to do Christmas in Disneyland one of these years.
Maybe someday.
I think that'd be fun to see, but then we wouldn't be able to go to Michigan we could if we went early enough, but I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe someday we'll see. But anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it.
So I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Remember, MEI Mouse Fan Travel, our official travel sponsor of the Main Street Mouse, for any of your travel needs. So if you want to come here for Christmas, or if you want to get tickets for Epic Universe when it opens, or if you want to take a cruise on Royal Caribbean or any other cruise ship or go anywhere, MEI Mouse Fan Travel can help you out with that. Just go to our site. There's all kinds of links, banners there. Click on the banner, takes you to their page. Fill out a little request form, and somebody will contact you with the information you're requesting.
And it's free.
And it's free for you. It doesn't cost you a dime. And please let them know you heard about them from us, the Main Street Mouse. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let Michelle close us out.
Okay, well, as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for following everything we do on our site and on social media. Because of you, we get to do these fun things and report on all these magical Disney things, and we really appreciate you all. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast because you don't want to miss a show because, these are great shows. And don't forget about my podcast on Thursday nights, Daydream Believing Podcast, and Scott and Greg's on Wednesday, the live podcast show, which is the Hot Mess Express. And that's about it. So I hope you guys have a magical week ahead, and we will see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings. Watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.